Guys, one thing you should understand is that visa officers are like, or maybe airport officials, they are trained professionals. So before you enter any airport, I will advise you, first of all, like for the case of Canada, you are going to watch the entire video. Let me first of all draw something here. If you are going to Canada, you should know the location of your university. You should know the course name and how long is the course going to last. This is another thing. Then you should equally know who did the application. If you did it yourself, fine. If you didn't do it, well, they may not ask you this, but at least know the course duration, know the course name, know the city in which you are going, know the province in which you are going. It is very important. And also hold all the necessary documents I'm going to mention here, and equally watch the video to the end, because this is going to help you a lot. I hope you enjoy this, and also understand that there are a lot of changes that will be coming up for study visas, PR pathways, and a whole lot of others. Stay tuned. I will be updating you guys.
Beautiful people, welcome back to our channel, and thank you so much for joining the channel today. So today's video, I want to talk about some questions that you may encounter when you enter the airport in Canada. It doesn't matter if you are a visitor or you are a student, but these are some of the questions that you may encounter. I'm not saying that they are going to ask you all these questions, but you should know that whatsoever the case may be, one or two of these you would meet them, especially the ones I'm going to be talking about your academics. Now, let me tell you that when you enter the airport in Canada, you are not safe until you have received that paper, that document that it's written, welcome to Canada. You've gotten your student permit, and you can now study and work in Canada. Understand, there is a paper they are going to give you like that after your passport has been checked, and a whole lot of other things. Otherwise, you are still not yet in Canada, except you've proven that you really want to enter Canada. But these are not things that will scare you. These are not things that should scare you. You should just know that you have to be conscious. There are a lot of people who are not serious, and these people know exactly that. So they must ask you some questions to make sure that you are actually legal, to make sure that you actually know where you are going to make sure that you actually know which country you are coming to and what you are supposed to do and not to do, and to make sure that above all you are a good student to the country. Now, these are some questions you are going to encounter in case you enter Canada. First, let me start with a visitor's visa before I go to the study options. If you are using a visitor's visa to enter Canada, you have to really know that this visa is not a visa that can permit you to do certain things in Canada like work, except you change the visa. Now, to those of you who always like to carry gari, fufu, fish, mbonga, red oil, this is the time for you. If you are going to Canada with a visitor's visa, don't try and carry those things. Remember, especially when you told the visa officer that you do not have a family member in Canada, right? What do you want to go and do? I want to go and visit Canada. I want to tour Canada. And out of a sudden, when you land the airport, upon checking your luggages, they discover that you have red oil, fufu, gari. Where are you going to be cooking all those things? That you are a visitor. Remember, as a visitor, no landlord is going to maybe give you an apartment. Even if they want to give you an apartment, which I think is 10% out of 100, there might be a lot of questions, and most of them will not give you, like I said, most will not give you apartments because they are not sure if you are going to pay the next rentage. Now, if you are going as a visitor, you are going with the intention that you already showed them your hotel booking, right? Yes, you already did a booking with booking.com. Now you show to them that you are going to be staying in a hotel or Airbnb. Then out of a sudden, you are showing, telling the visa officer that, okay, who owns this food stop? You say, I'm the one who has it. What are you doing with gari in a hotel? There is no place in a hotel you are going to cook gari or fufu. Yes, so that is something. Don't carry food stuff when you are on a visitor's visa. There is a video I even did one time on this YouTube channel telling people not to carry their certificates. Yes, because you are on a visit. Carrying your certificate means that you want to go to school or you want to apply for a job, and this is not what you told them initially, and this is not what you put on your online application, right? So do not carry your certificate. Even if you want to apply for a school, just scan everything, have them on you, then put somebody on standby in your home country in case anything happens. Let them ship these things to you via the post office office. I hope you understand. Yeah, it's risky shipping your certificates via land or sea, but again, that is the only option. Then another thing is, if you work with agents, try to work with people who are transparent. People who can give you like login details in case of anything. People who, if they did your application on IRCC themselves, then try to make sure. I'm just saying that the key word here should be transparency. If you work with somebody who is not transparent, who cannot be legit, who cannot tell you anything, it is a whole lot of problems. Because okay, what if you need some information and you are not getting it? Because of course IRCC or the border officers, the immigration at the airport, may ask you to open your IRCC portal for them to check some things, right? Okay, now what if you open the portal and upon checking they realize that certain things were not done correctly? What are you going to do? You have to put all this into consideration. It is very important, right? There is no need for somebody keeping your own IRCC portal or details for your own portal. It doesn't make sense. And if you are the one who did the application, make sure you have all the details, your password written correctly, emails, and all those questions. There are some questions you have to answer on IRCC. Now, I'm looking at my jotter here because I don't want to make errors. There are a lot of questions I want to mention here. If you are late, let's assume that you got your visa late and you are moving to Canada late. Now, one thing you need to do is, I'll advise you as a student, register your courses online before you start moving, because remember, you are already late. So now, without registering your courses is a whole lot of extra information or a whole lot of other things that may put you into problems. Always try to register your courses if you are late already for school. Then remember, the bank statement you use for your visa application, you have to carry that bank statement. It is very paramount. If you move without a bank statement, you may be asked, what document did you use for proof of funds? In fact, carry all your documentations with you. Very smart way. Carry all of them with you. But I'm not talking about educational credentials now. I'm talking about documents you use to apply on IRCC. But if you use your educational credentials, carry them as well, so that when you arrive there, in case they find out that you are carrying your educational documents and they are asking you, why did you bring them? You cannot tell them that you did not know the questions that IRCC or they were to ask at the airport. That was the reason you carried the documents, because you used them during visa application. Remember, this thing you are telling them is truthful, or is something which is true, because if you tell them that they are going to go back to your IRCC portal to check, they might go back, they might not go back. It just depends on who you met in the airport or on seat that particular day. Immigration officials are not the same. Please put this into consideration. Also remember your resumption date of the program. Even if you are the one who did the visa application, you can always forget. So my advice is, before you move, go through questions like this to help prepare you for the interview when you arrive. Do not go early. What I mean here is, if you are maybe, let's say, if you got your visa in March, you still have April, May, June, July, August, and if your program is starting September, it means that you have to put in a lot. Do not go early. Just hold on a little. Be preparing. Maybe gather some money to use it and migrate, right? Yes, you already got your visa. Now it's time for you to check other things, put them into consideration, prepare some money, and then you get ready when it's time. Go at least 1 month or 3 weeks to the starting. Do not go early, because if you rush and go into Canada, you might encounter problems at the airport. One of them may be, why are you coming to Canada this early? It is a whole lot of problems, and before you know, you may implicate yourself, and after some time you will be deported. Do not do things like that. Don't say you would work full time. Nobody is seeing you, because of course, whatsoever thing you know, nobody is seeing you want to work full time. All those things, extra work. For example, as a student in Canada, you have just 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week. I don't know if it's 4 hours a day or something. Now, this is what you are going to do. In case you finally move to Canada, and you are like, Milton, okay, I do not want to work, I just want to make money, please, is somebody seeing me? Anyways, nobody is seeing me. Yes, you may think nobody is seeing you, but they are seeing you on the ground. What is going to happen is that you will be working those extra hours thinking that no employer is seeing you, or maybe the people who are even paying you that salary for those extra hours, they are not aware, or maybe they are aware but they sat quiet. But at the end of the day, when you are going for PR PGWP, PR, and citizenship, when you finish your studies, it is going to be very, very difficult for you. So I just want to draw your attention to the fact that you should put all this into consideration. It's also very good. Don't say you will work. I already mentioned that. What will you do after school? This is another question that you may encounter. They might be asking you what you are going to do after school. Some of the things that visa officers will want to know. They want to actually see if you are conscious. They want to actually see if you are returning back home. These are some of the things. Then who will sponsor you? It now depends on who is going to be a sponsor. If I'm the one, I will just say I am the one sponsoring myself. Then you go ahead and elaborate. But if you are asked this question, who is the one sponsoring you? Don't give a fake information. Tell them what you think is proper, because at the end of the day, all the things you say, they might have it in the system. Since you are applying for the second time, they already have your details. Okay, did you pay tuition installment or tuition fee installment? This is something which is very rare, but again, you may want to say something like it is rare. Did you pay tuition? You must not pay tuition, and not all schools will ask you to pay tuition fee. Some will ask you to pay just a registration fee and you are good to go. Okay, then what if they ask what province are you going to be living in? There are a lot of things you need to put into consideration. The province also matters too much. So I will advise you to always put everything together. And again, who did your application? When did you do your application? Certain petty things like this, they may only ask you this when they have opened your portal. I hope you understand. But most times, if they notice you are the one who did it, like myself, they are not going to be asking you all these things because they know. But in case they notice that you are not the owner and stuff like that, they are going to give you all these details.
Okay, to end this video, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that many schools in Switzerland are going to open their portals very soon. And I think admissions to Swiss universities is going to start January. Remember, if you want to apply to Switzerland, you should remember that there are cantonal universities, there are universities of applied sciences, there are equally teacher training universities, and there are federal universities. All these universities, none of them goes above 1,500. Some are below 900, some 1,250, and the others 1,300, 800, some even. Just make sure you follow those videos. Check universities like University of Lugano, University of Bern, University of Geneva, ETS Zurich. These are some of the schools you should be checking. University of Neuchâtel, University of Freiburg. There are a lot of them in Switzerland. Check these schools and apply from January 2024 because their tuition is cheap. Now, remember, schools in Austria will equally start next year as well, and Austria tuition is very cheap as well. But before you apply to all these countries, make sure you pay attention to one thing: proof of funds. Proof of funds is very heavy in most of these countries. So I'm just here to explain to you so that you understand what you are going to be doing at the end of the day. Then another thing you should remember is that the process of getting visa to Malta has changed. You are going to watch a full video on my YouTube channel. And again, remember, visas to Lithuania now, not visas anyway, residence permits or permits to Switzerland, to Lithuania are gotten from Dubai, Lebanon, or Jordan. So you are not going again to Egypt. For those who didn't know, maybe from January next year things will change. So I'm going to be updating you depending on what is available. And again, do not forget that proof of funds is very important. There are very low tuition countries in Europe, but the issue is you need to show that you have money to study in these countries, and I'm going to be explaining a lot of things to you guys. I hope this helps you.